Record. Hello, everybody. This is Trevor Dion, Comedy Riot podcast / radio show. I'm here with Adam Perry and my co-hosts for today, Joe F.
That's me. Hi, guys.
His name's Joe F. You can guess his last name later. We're gonna start off asking a simple question. What made you interested in stand-up comedy?
First of all, hi, I'm Adam Perry. Sorry I didn't just say that.
Right? I'm just talking to myself now. He'll be here later.
I realized and I was like, fuck, I can't say it now. Well, basically, I didn't really have many other options. And I realized, after listening to podcasts for a long time, I realized I could probably do it. And then I was like, well, it's a lot better than working a job or going to school.
Right.
So I'd like to do that.
Amen.
It's not like crazy simple. I just don't want to work.
Right.
I think I could do it.
Well, it's work, but it's not work. Like, it's not work.
Working for the man.
Yeah. Working for society, man.
Big brother.
Yeah.
So were you just like walking by? Did you plan it out? Did you just know about an open mic and you're like, I'll do that? Or
well, I mean, I was always a fan of comedy, obviously, but I never thought it was something I could ever do. I just never thought I was that kind of dude who could stand up on a stage and talk to people, because it's not really me. I'm more of like a quiet, like, loser.
Right.
Yeah, that seems legit.
So, I fucking lost my train of thought here.
It's all
I
good.
should have gotten high before.
Best time to do it before talking. Get high as much as possible.
Like an hour ago. So I discovered Joe Rogan.
That's awesome. He's
I discovered his podcast, and I listened to all these comedians talking about comedy, and it sounded like, man, that sounds like the life. You just get to tell jokes, and women think it's attractive and shit, and you get to live this life where you're just sitting around smoking weed and just doing whatever you want to do. And that lifestyle appealed to me. And then so you just like you start relating to the comedians that you hear and stuff, and I feel like I'm one of them and I could do this. And then so how do I do it? So then you figure out, you just have to go up to an open mic. So then you realize you have a choice, and you're facing that choice. You have to go up and do your first open mic. And for me, it took a year of writing and figuring out how to do that.
Really?
Shit. Yeah, before I did my first open mic. And but even during that year, I felt like I was a comic. I just didn't do it yet. And I still don't feel like I'm I feel like shit calling myself a comic because I'm not really.
Because I felt the same way for a little while.
You didn't earn it yet.
I felt every time I said, "Oh, I'm a comic," I felt dirty.
Trevor.
I feel like I just touched me. What?
You're the first one that said, as soon as you do it, we're coming.
Well, honestly, here's the thing.
It's true, though. Jerry Seinfeld said that.
Yeah.
Well, first time I did it, I did it a couple of times. Then I went to Anthony Brooks' open mic, and I was like...
Yeah, he's the one that told you, right?
He told me, well, you did it, you're doing it, you're a comic. I'm like, oh. Yeah, it was like the third time. He's like, oh, you're a comic then. I'm like, all right, I'll stick with that then.
Was that the first open mic you did?
It was my fourth or fifth.
What was the first one you did?
First one was Pub on Par.
Oh.
So that was fun.
Pub is brutal, but it can be. I've had a couple of good sets there. I like the community. I've just started kind of getting. I've always been kind of like weird with people, and I've just started kind of getting more in with them. So it's a lot more fun of an experience. Because instead of freaking out on stage and the lead up to that, you're kind of like enjoying yourself talking to people. So it takes a lot of the stress off and shit.
Yeah.
I do apologize if my voice is like hard to hear.
It's okay. It's all good.
I personally like being called a comic because I like having all titles.
Right? Titles are good.
Titles are nice.
World Destroyer.
Dragon Stomper.
Have you done stuff?
Mass Murderer.
Mass Murderer. Well, we don't say that one off.
Spree Killer.
We all love it. We can't get
past
that.
life.
So yeah, any interesting stories about doing stand-up? How long you been doing it? And any interesting stories?
What is it, April?
Yeah, I don't keep track.
It's been like a year and 9 or 10 months. So like two years in June.
2 years?
Yeah, in June. So,
anything that sticks out as a story that you always like? Yeah, that's a good one. Because I know it's only 2 years, but things happen.
See, there probably have been, but I don't remember.
All that weed.
Yeah, and it's been such a roller coaster of like emotion, if I can use that, or no, glass case of emotion.
Glass case of
Yeah,
emotion.
but it's been like a roller coaster ride. So like, it's like I don't remember anything. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm sorry, I should have thought of a story, but I don't have one.
It's all good. It's okay.
It's been mainly struggling open mics. It's basically what I've been doing.
Just going there, punishing yourself, coming back.
Yeah.
Like, how can I punish myself but less?
Yeah, more like the story is more like a personal like journey of discovery through the process of doing comedy, as opposed to like, oh, I saw this chick's tits once and she fucking took out this line of heroin. I don't really have. I'm doing pub open mics. I'm not really.
You want to be really funny? You want to know something cool? On Pub on Par, before they went through the construction, some woman flashed a bunch of people. After I left.
So that's like a David Tell joke.
That's before I did it too.
All the fun shows up after you leave. Like the
Basically.
funmobile's a mile behind you. Sorry.
I have no idea
So-
what it is, but yeah.
David Tell's a comedian.
Oh yeah.
Shit. Oh, you need
Yeah, I need to.
to find out Road Work. His latest special is incredible.
Describe to me what happened the worst time you bombed. The one time when you were like, God, that was bad, and then you kind of like challenged your existence. Because I do that on a day-to-day basis.
Every
That
time I
was
go up.
probably the third time I ever did stand-up. I think it was the third time. The first time I did it at this place called SOTP, which is in...
I wanted to go
Yeah.
there, but I kept on, like, things kept on happening, and I kept on being pushed off, and then I was like, I'm doing it.
It's a
And
great place.
then I
North
called,
Attleboro, it's really-
and it was canceled.
Yeah,
That sucks.
Yeah, I think they ran out of money. It's a shame, man. They had a stage, and it was a very artist environment because it was run by like an actor and shit.
Oh,
and
wow.
It felt really good. It was cool.
So
I think
that
it
was
like
the
a
worst
play-out.
time you bombed?
No,
the
that was the first time I ever did stand-up.
First time you did
Obviously, I
stand-up.
bombed because it was
Right.
the first time I ever did stand-up.
Right.
But I was like going crazy, and I was up there for like 7-8 minutes, and it felt like 2 minutes. It was insane. It was really fun. The second time, I did okay. I got one pop with one joke. I said like Rick Ross is the rap equivalent of Nickelback, and there was like I think there was honestly a black couple in the back that laughed at that, and that got kind of like a pop, and I liked that, but I still bombed. And then
Right.
The third time was at Christopher's Deli in Cranston. I think it's on Park Ave, the same place
Yeah.
as the pub. Christopher's Deli, which is now defunct. I went up, and all the two comics were being cunts, if I can be honest, and they got up right as I went up on stage, and I felt like they were kind of doing it to haze me, and it kind of threw me off. The thing is, I went up there, and there was no attention being paid to me at all.
Oh, jeez.
And there was people at the bar, and they were watching TV, and I'm telling like a rape joke. Like I don't tell rape jokes anymore. If I have a really good one, I'll tell one. But
Yeah.
I was new, and I was
One of
like,
the
oh,
best rape jokes.
Yeah, I was like, this is kind of funny, but it wasn't. And I remember James Creelman, and he was. I'm not. This is funny. I appreciate that he did this. When I told the rape joke and it got 0, he walks by me to go to the bathroom, and he goes, "Everybody loves a rape joke," and it was just like the most embarrassing. That was the worst because that was like, oh, like. This really is harder than I thought it was.
Yeah.
But then I've had bombing experiences that are very similar to that, and to me it's just all a blur of bombing with the occasional like fun set in there.
Right. That's how I roll.
Yeah, one time I called some guy Pee Wee Herman, and you look, who's that guy's name?
I don't actually know who
Bartlett.
R.A. Bartlett, I love that dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of reminded me of Pee Wee Herman. And I was like, hey, let's give it up for Pee Wee Herman, and nobody laughed. And I felt like, okay, well, that wasn't funny. And then I did a bunch of clitoris jokes, and everyone
I can
laughed.
see why you would make that comparison, the voice a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
He's awesome, though.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be offensive. I love Pee Wee
No, I know,
Herman.
you're just trying to bust his ass, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard, too, in the beginning. If they don't know you,
Yeah.
you got to be careful with that, because then they don't know if you're cool or not, so
Yeah.
they don't know if you're being a dick or if
Yeah.
you know.
Should probably apologize.
Yeah.
Let's ask him another question.
Describe me the first time you killed. You think you did really good.
Killed as in comedy, not person.
No, don't want to give your.
I don't have too many to list of that shit, but I probably killed like once, like maybe once. I've done okay, but to say I killed maybe once, and that was in August of last year. I did a contest for the Wicked Funny Productions. Chris Reyes and Brian Bowden run it, and I won that. I tied with Anthony Comedian Smith. And I killed. And I mean, I don't know. It was a short 5-minute set, and I was really preparing a lot for it leading up to it. and the crowd was fucking awesome. That's the thing. I can't really feel like I killed because the crowd was, everybody was really doing well. So it's like I can't really feel like I killed. I did really well, but like everyone did really well, so I can't really feel that proud of it.
Did you win?
I won, but I tied with Anthony.
So you go, oh well, that's something.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't won. I done like one contest though. There was like 18 people there too.
Oh, there was only like 6 or 7 on this one.
Oh man. What, Joe?
Can I ask a question?
What?
Have you ever dealt with hecklers?
Not really. I've had a couple of people, I mean, like, not like real heckles. I've had a couple of people say, you know, they'll like, you know, they'll say some dickish thing under their breath because you're sucking.
Yeah.
But, and I'll ignore them or, oh, well, actually, no, I did have a heckle, now that I think about it. There was this girl at Pub on Park.
Fun.
Yeah, I'm not going to name names, but she had a stripper name, a very stripper name. And she was just, yeah. Exactly.
That would be funny.
It ended with a Y.
Oh, yeah.
And it was 2 syllables, it was a stripper name. And basically, she was being a bitch the whole time, and she was kind of like, you know, talking loudly and getting drunk and stuff during everyone's sets. And then she did it during mine, and then I lost my place because I wasn't preparing enough as I should have, so I sucked.
Right.
And on top of it, I had this girl who was like in my shit. So I stammer and I lose my place. My act breaks down and I get pissed at her. And I just said, you know, I just stopped and went, you know, and her name is Candy. Go fucking figure. And the whole bar was silent. Ooh. And then silent. And she just looks like oh no, you didn't say that shit. And then she goes, yeah, basically. And then she goes crazy, and she starts yelling at John Parada. I love you, John. I'm sorry I had this happen at your pub. But she was like, he's offending me. I don't like him. I don't appreciate this shit. And basically, she went crazy. Then I left because I didn't want to get hit by a girl because I totally would have because I'm a bitch. I don't know how to fight. So I leave, and then apparently Derek Moore was there, and he was hosting that night. And they got into it after I left, and then she threw a beer on him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then she called her boyfriend to come beat the shit out of everybody. And then he gets there, and he realizes that she's just drunk and being an asshole, so he takes her home.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was like, that was the only heckler I've ever had.
Was she talking at you, or was she talking with other people?
She was talking like at the performance because it wasn't going well. It's
open mic.
No one's killing. So she was just trying to make it about her.
Yeah.
And you know, you're trying to make it about you, and I'm trying to make it about me. Go fuck yourself. I'm gonna get angry.
Yeah.
And
I prepared the material. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I poorly prepared the
I poorly made up this material. Listen.
And she just wasn't. She had no sense of humor about herself, and she got pissed. Obviously, she didn't because she was a heckler.
Yeah.
Right. What's your comedic process? Do you like write it out long form? Do you just like have a thought, you send it, you put it away, and you just come back and you got it all in your head what you're gonna do?
I'm guessing it involves a bong.
That's a big.
Do you get
tool.
a giant bong?
Bongs are a tool of creation.
A pencil and a bong, and you just write the world away.
My process, I don't have one yet because I'm so young in the game. I'm just figuring out what a process is. I started out writing everything out and just structuring stories with jokes in them. But I find that when you write shit out and that's how you primarily create, it's going to be contrived because you're not talking it out. You're writing out this thing that you like. I would be writing scripts for Ari Shaffir and Dave Attell and Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan and Bill Burr. So then I go up and I'm telling it like a robot who's doing this impression of these comedians, and they might work because maybe it's a funny joke. But then I'm going up there and I'm going off feeling like, you know, this isn't what I want to do. I don't want to get up there and be an actor doing this play. I want to be up there and kill with jokes.
That are me. That's you.
And that you're just talking, but with good joke writing at the same time.
Right.
So I'm just kind of now starting to get away from writing stuff out. I come up with stuff by riffing into a recorder, and then if it's good, I'll write it down. And if I need to like mine it for more meat, that's when I'll write it out and punch it up with stuff. But I really think the best creative thing is talking because it's just you talking. It's not through all these bullshit filters that you do when you're writing it out. You know?
Right.
So it's a combination of everything. And a lot of marijuana.
Yeah. Right, lots of it. You know, I'm a little insulted you didn't plug in your podcast. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Plug it in. I have
a podcast on Libsyn. Go to funnyperry.libsyn.com. to find my
Bam.
shitty podcast.
Plug in.
I have 3 episodes right now. The last episode I did was about social justice warriors and shit. I actually kind of liked that episode. The other 2 you don't have to listen to, but the 3rd episode you can listen to that. I think that's okay. Yeah, funnyperry.com.
Advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shameless
we all
plugs.
need it. Who needs not to be shameless, right?
But basically, it's just me talking like I'm trying to do it like Bill Burr does his. So don't expect conversations with people. It's just me ranting.
Right? Conversations with people are stupid, especially in podcast form.
They're easier to. I think they're more fun to listen to. But
I always like to get to know people and talk to them out on podcasts and pick their minds a little bit. You know what I noticed? And you just told me before you don't like your voice.
no.
You have the deepest voice as a comic, and I'm wondering, when your balls dropped, did it hurt? Did it hit the floor?
Actually, they dropped so hard that they bounced back up inside of me.
Ow!
So yeah, I don't have the deepest voice ever.
You do have a deep voice. I know there's like really deep, but it's like in the
it goes either way. Yeah, and I
it's
hate
right
it.
in the middle of perfection of deepness.
I think thanks. I think it's me, so it's like I just deal with it. I don't know. It's me. I've just learned to accept myself.
I think it would be perfect if you like. I'm not trying to persuade you, but like dry humor, that'd be the greatest. You get the voice.
Dry humor.
Yeah.
See, my friend Ben Keefe said that shit too. I'll probably will eventually get there because I do like a lot of dry shit.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do. I'm just impersonating comedians and trying to find me within it. So,
Yeah.
but definitely I like dry.
I feel like I was impersonating Louis C.K. in the beginning so
I do it
badly.
too. I love it.
And so someone pointed it out to me. It was like my mom's friend, so she really doesn't count. But
Your mom's friend pointed that out. Well,
Like my
she
mom.
might just be saying that shit because you're telling jokes.
And then he's like, "Yeah, you like Louis C.K." And I'm like, "Oh, I love him. If there's someone I need to impersonate, that's someone I should impersonate.
good.
Though it's not me.
But
So
you're-
I have been pushing away a bit.
But you're new, right?
I'm new.
That's what you
This
do.
is my.
It's just a process.
I just hit my year, like last week,
I heard the podcasts.
right?
I'm doing for like 3 weeks.
Right. So we should listen to him more often.
But yeah, that's just a part of it. You'll get over it. I'm starting to learn how to get out of it.
I'm getting out of it. I'm working on it. He's just being here.
Yeah.
He does things, right?
I think I'm hilarious.
He's
Of course
hilarious.
you are. We're all hilarious. You just got to show other people that you
You just
are.
have to structure it so everyone can be like everyone can
I was
feel it.
the only one last time to bring up a freaking notebook and read off the notebook, and I felt like a tool.
Yeah, you can do that in the beginning. But
Yeah.
you try not to do that because people have a hard time paying attention to you.
Yeah.
Describe to me and tell me your best joke you ever written in your opinion. What's the joke that you're like, I love this, even if it doesn't do great even if it doesn't do great. Thanks, Joe.
Well, okay, I have a Hitler joke I really like.
Oh,
You want to tell it, or you just want to?
I'll tell it, but it's not. A lot of people aren't going to find it funny, but I find it funny, and I've had people laugh with it. Basically, I don't understand why Hitler hated the Jews, but to use a rarely used phrase, in Hitler's defense, it was a much different time, and there were a lot more Jews.
Right.
I mean, Europe's a small place, there's not a lot of room. All right, that's the joke. And
I like it.
I like it.
That's
But
both terrible and hilarious.
yeah, but it's it very rarely works. I told the first time ever to a crowd of old people that probably
Oh
saw Hitler
my
on the
God.
news at some point, and it got
I fought against that guy.
just the most quiet silence you could ever hear.
They all looked
followed
down
it.
to earth and sad.
And then I was like, that's exactly what that deserved. And I got the fuck off.
You said that like
Yeah,
that's what that deserves.
And then I got off after like 2 jokes.
You what I noticed, where you are young, I'm young, and what I noticed when we got on stage, Joe's also young, and when we go on stage and there's an audience, there's a disconnect
It's
to a
harder.
point. It's a lot harder.
They don't take you seriously, even though they're not supposed to as a comic. But they don't.
They're like, this youngster over here with his jokes and his Hitler.
Yeah. I don't do that Hitler joke anymore.
Right.
I do it sometimes, like at my own shows and shit, but never at an open mic, at like Mikey B's and stuff.
And the old people, there's a disconnect with the young and old, especially when it's old audience. I actually did do pretty okay with an old audience one point when it was like a sea of 35 or older.
Nice. I've had actually the last Mikey B's I did with you. One of my jokes had only worked on the older ladies in the background.
Really?
So I've had a
that's
couple of
right.
moments
I
like
remember that. You know what I do when I go to an open mic like that, and I probably shouldn't, but I'm like, there's not too many people here. I should at least I should just listen to one person. I listened to this, like, there was a biker in the back, and I'm like, okay, if he finds this funny, this is a good joke.
Was this at that open mic?
I think this is the one afterwards, and I don't think you were there, or you left early, or something.
Was the one before it, you mean?
After that, I think.
That last one was last week.
2 weeks ago, wasn't
No,
that?
last week.
Was that last week?
I think it was.
There was one. No, it was St. Patrick's Day. It was St. Patrick's Day. I think
Saturday?
No, like the St. Patrick's
I'm thinking of
Tuesday.
the Newport Parade. My bad.
Oh, yeah, no, it was the St. Patrick's Tuesday, Mikey B's, and there
Was I
was
not there?
you. I feel like you were there. You probably left early. You were there too.
I
I haven't seen you.
Actually, you went there.
Maybe I'm
Okay.
forgetting. I thought this week.
We're
was so
losing
long.
the audience.
Sorry.
They're like, we don't give a shit if who was there and who wasn't. Just say something interesting.
Dave Chappelle wore a kilt.
What?
What?
Dave wore a kilt?
Yeah, he
I was
Dave-
definitely not there.
Oh,
for that.
see, Dave wore a kilt.
Yeah.
I was definitely
He
not
was
there for that.
Save your fasting.
So was it on like a Monday?
It was Tuesday.
It was a
It's
Tuesday.
always a Tuesday.
Which
on
Tuesday
Dave.
was it? Was it like 2 Tuesdays ago?
I think it was two Tuesdays ago. And the week before that one was the old lady one.
I thought that was 2 weeks ago.
We don't have no sense of time. You're high right as we speak. You don't even know where you are half the time.
Am I at Stop and Shop right now? Sorry.
It's all good. The most comedians these days, I've heard some that don't listen to a lot of comedy anymore since they started. Is that true for you, or do you still listen to a lot of comedy?
I see it happening. I definitely listened to it a lot more when I first started. But I think if you stop watching it, I mean, there's arguments to it. I'm just kind of figuring this out. There's like some people don't because they say they'll steal stuff unconsciously or subconsciously. And then other people, I like the idea that it's ridiculous to not be exposed to what comedy is.
Right.
Because then you know the trends and you know what's funny and you know what's not funny and you know what the people want. Because you got to stay, in touch with young people a lot of times. So if you're just not watching anything, you're going to become irrelevant real quick. That's the way I think. And plus, comedy's awesome. Why would you want to stop enjoying comedy? If you can't get over, like, oh, I know what he's doing, your ego is fucked. You need to be able to just kind of enjoy the comedy.
Just take it in.
Yeah, I can enjoy open mic comics, even though I'm a fucking open mic comic, so I don't find anything funny. But I can enjoy, like, their vibes. You just have fun with the comedy. And you gotta enjoy the person, and then their jokes, which might not be as good as Bill Burr's jokes, but they're funny because they're funny.
There's always some, like, at open mic, sometimes some people are just, I don't find funny.
Yeah,
but
some
they're
people just
funny.
suck. Some people just
But
suck.
there's sometimes when, like, they'll do something and I find it amazing. Like, we when we started early, Joe and me were at at one of the open mics, and John Peralta came on.
Oh,
Who?
great.
John Peralta, the guy.
John Peralta.
I say his name
Yeah,
wrong.
I say the same way.
And he looks at, there's a few times that made me laugh hysterically. Like at one point we were all chilling and he looks straight at my friends like, you gay? And I'm just like,
He tried to rape the other one, and
He did that to you?
no, to my friend, and that's why it was
That's
hilarious.
funny.
And he called me a fat ass Harry Potter, and
He said that?
yeah, he was great.
He's like,
I was humbled.
It was like the seventh.
Hey,
eighth movie.
I had that happen to me when Doug Stanhope called me large-faced Perry.
Yeah, I think I heard about something on that podcast, right?
Yeah.
How did that? What? I'm a little confused
kind of
on what that
interesting.
happened. Explain it. What
Basically,
happened?
actually, I'm wearing a T-shirt that I ordered from him. That's this whole story right now. It was his rehab podcast. If you're listening to his podcast, it's one of those episodes. I think it was day 21 or 22. I don't really remember. But I tried to order a T-shirt from him, and the page didn't load. So I clicked submit again, and it ordered it twice. So then I was like, fuck, I ordered this shirt twice. And I looked in the emails to find a way to return it, but I couldn't find anything. I could have just replied to the email, but I thought it was a robot, so I didn't know.
Right.
So I contacted him on Twitter, and I just say, hey, can you help me out on this? And then he basically said, well, I don't know how to do this, but we'll talk about it on the podcast. Please hold. And then that night he recorded the podcast, and the next day he released it, and he basically just made fun of me for being an idiot and not knowing how to order a shirt and being a comic, so I should know that trying to get directly in contact with the artist when you fuck up an order is probably not the best way to go. But meanwhile, I got the problem solved in 15 minutes after I said the tweet. He replied and it was done, and I had that, so it was actually kind of really convenient. And so he made fun of me, trashed me, he called me fat. It was fun. I loved it. It was awesome.
Highlight of your career.
Yeah.
I love when people tell me how much of a failure I am. Well, it's a famous person, so I'd give you that.
No problem, Trevor.
Thanks, Joe. Is Dan Hope your favorite comedian? Is there more?
One little tag to that story.
Right.
The shirt that I got that I'm wearing right now isn't even the right T-shirt. He sent me the wrong T-shirt. So now I told him that, but I'm gonna buy the right T-shirt, and he said he sent me a DVD as like penance. So I'm like, sweet, I got a DVD out of it.
That's a good. That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is he your favorite comedian?
I was prepared for that question. I got so many, but the funniest person I think was Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Who, Jim Jeffries?
What? No, Dave Chappelle. The black guy. Throwing us off, Joe.
Jim Jeffries is funny. I like him.
It was just a joke.
Dave Chappelle and David Tennant.
They're like twins. You can't tell the difference.
Oh yeah.
One's black.
And one's got an accent. Well, they both got accents.
They're all the same. All right.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
But it's like David Tell, Bill Burr, Jim Norton sometimes. I mean,
You change from favorite comic to favorite comic?
Well, I've like kind of gone through them over the last couple of years, but like the pinnacle, it's like Louis. Louis, of course. I mean, he's like one of the top three.
Trevor,
every podcast I mention like Louis, my best, my man.
I love him. He's awesome. But Dave Chappelle is like, he's just got the showmanship about him, and he's a good joke writer, and he's just. I've never laughed harder than at David Chappelle, but Dave Attell is just as good. But he's a different thing. He's a joke guy. Yeah, it's like when you really get into music, you don't really have a favorite band, but I aspire to be like a combination of Bill Burr.
Yeah, you like Bill Burr. You mentioned.
I love Bill Burr. Dave Attell and Dave Chappelle, like a mix of those, with a little Jim Norton and
yourself.
A bunch of other people. Well, yeah, but
yourself. Right.
Those are the guys that you aspire.
You try to take.
And Doug Stanhope too. The darkness and the fuck it attitude. I like that. So he's another huge one. I've had direct contact with him.
So that's
cool.
I want to be the guy. I want to be Dane Cook and the guy that smashes watermelons. No.
Are you serious?
No.
I was gonna flip this table. Dane Cook
burn the house down.
I think Dane Cook is funny.
Seriously?
Yes, but he overplayed himself a little bit.
Yeah.
And he blew up too much than what he had. I think Bill Burr talks about him like he's a genius. So it's
really?
like, yeah, because he worked with him when they were coming up. He's like, dude, he might not be your brand of funny, but this dude kills. So it's like Chris D'Elia, you know him? I don't find him funny at all.
Yeah.
But he supposedly he's like Dane Cook. He's amazing, but I don't think he's funny at all.
No.
But it's like you just got to be like, whatever.
How do you feel about Carlos Mencia?
I don't
love the man. Said no one.
You need to check out his Twitter page right now.
Why?
It's insane. Because his career's over.
Yeah.
And now everyone hates him, and he's lost a bunch of weight. Mm-hmm. So he's this weird, bizarro world Carlos Mencia, where he's like, you see him taking selfies with like 3 favorites, and it's just like a ghost town of a Twitter page.
That's almost sad.
Yeah, it is. It's a story, man. Don't let that happen to you. You'll fuck yourself.
Don't steal jokes. That is the lesson of the day.
Just don't be
don't steal from George Lopez.
Yeah, right.
Right?
From anybody.
You gotta steal from someone who's like amazing.
George Lopez is funny.
He's funny. I love his show. His show is funny.
I never watched the show.
Really?
I saw one. Honestly, I saw one HBO special. I liked that. That's the only thing I ever saw. But it was good.
I was about to ask you, who's your favorite comedian? Does his show?
Chappelle?
Yeah, did you like his show?
Loved his show.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
There's some funny.
Honestly,
Bill Burr was on that show
Yeah.
at one point. I love that sketch. I always remember that one.
It created some like racial weirdness with me. Not that I don't like black people.
Whoa!
I thought I was black. You know, you become one of those.
You became one of the show with the show.
Yeah, you become socialized around it. So you just start talking like it, and then you're like, man, I'm white, and these black people are looking at me really weird for talking like this.
That happened to you?
That happens. Yeah,
I never got that far.
I was buying weed for my black friend. I'm sorry. I was buying from it in the ghetto, and this woman is just like an old school black lady, and I'm sitting there and I'm talking, and she's just looking at me like I did something wrong, and I'm just like, oh. And that was one of the moments I realized, like, damn, I am kind of posing right now, but it wasn't my fault. I
you wear a bandana?
She had a bandana, dude.
She had a bandana?
I'm not kidding. And I just realized, like, man, I'm not black. That's actually a joke I'm working on right now. Is I'm never gonna come to terms with the fact that I'm white. It's like I want to be this really cool guy, and it's like I play Animal Crossing on my DS.
Right.
This is fucking white.
You don't recognize the signs that you're freaking white.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to come up with a joke about how nerdy I am, but every time I mention Dungeons and Dragons, I just get a blank stare. It's like no one knows what that is, and it's sad.
They must know
They'll know what that. They'll know what that is enough. If you can work with that.
Yeah, I'm trying.
As long as you don't speak to an audience of old people.
If you use it as a punchline, just Dungeons and Dragons, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
But if you say something funny about it, they'll know it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm a level 32 paladin.
Paladin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kick ass.
Kick ass.
Paladins are one of my favorite classes in games.
Play Dungeons and Dragons?
Played it once, but I play video games a lot, and I like that kind of spell warrior type shit.
Healer warrior.
Come on.
Sorry.
Come on.
Uses maces, right?
Yeah. You maces.
Shut up.
God. Okay. we were talking about comedy. We got off on track, and then we ended up at Dungeons and Dragons, the nerdy ass thing.
You play Pokemon, so
I played the
trying
game.
to get back into that.
it's great.
You try. Why?
Because it was fun, and probably because I'm scared of getting older, and I just want to go back to my childhood. I don't know what it is.
That's a goal.
But I played Blue. I had 151 Pokemon.
You know what I did when I had Pokemon?
Yeah.
You know what I did, and I realize now how stupid of a child I was? I played Pokemon, I played Charizard, and I kept on playing level 2 creatures to the point where I was hit like a level 100. And I was just like,
what do you mean?
I leveled him up.
A Weedle to like
I leveled him up playing against so small level creatures.
Oh.
Then I realized, wait, you could just play higher level creatures. So I spent like a year upgrading my goddamn Charizard, and I'm like, God, I could just end. Yeah, it was.
And you never left like the front area.
No,
that's hilarious.
Never left the guy. I didn't know what I was doing. I just like battling.
That's funny.
Alright.
So they'll all get these references. Yeah. So that's true.
Hashtag yellow.
So honestly, I'm going to tell the audience I just ran out of questions. I have 2 questions, but we only got 31 minutes. So let's post some shit up. Let's just make some shit up as we go. Gamergate.
Okay.
Explain this, and let's see which side we fall on.
Okay. Gamergate. Basically, what happened is there was this game developer, an independent game developer named Zoe Quinn. Who's kind of hot, and she used to do porn.
Right.
That's awesome.
She used to do like softcore pornography. And she made this game called Depression Quest. And it's not even really a game.
I've heard of that.
I've heard it called like an interactive novel.
I played that.
You played it? It's
I think I ended up killing myself in the game.
Yeah, that's the game. So basically, she fucked a bunch of reviewers to get good reviews.
Oh yeah, I saw it get like mad good reviews. I'm like, this game sucks.
Mm-hmm. And but she banged all those guys to get those reviews. Shit. And her boyfriend came out and leaked it, and basically he was a dick because he was being very ethical about it. No,
right.
She cheated on him.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the thing. She cheated on him with all these dudes, and that's how the five.
You sure he wasn't cool with it?
That's how the Five Guys Burgers and Fries thing came out, because she fucked 5 guys to get good reviews. So now they have the 5 Guys logo as like a cornerstone of Gamergate.
I didn't know that.
So basically, you got a girl, a hot chick who's trying to be Ramona Flowers with her fucking aesthetic and shit. And she bangs all these guys, gets good reviews. And then the internet, which is the internet, blows up about it. And it's all about the situation that you had this chick who's banging dudes to get good coverage. It's corruption, video game journalism, and that's been going around forever.
Yeah,
that's been happening for a long time. People get paid money to review games, to get advertisements placed and shit. So you've got like this game, like Mass Effect 2 or 3, that sucks a big bag of donkey dicks, and it gets a 3 or it gets like a 9.8 or some shit in Game of the Year because they got paid to do that. And then you've got the whole marketplace is screwed up because of it.
You can go fuck yourself.
Making friends.
God, it was the worst game I've ever played.
No way, really?
Holy shit.
Gears of War.
Oh, fuck Gears of War. But
that's what that was. It was Gears of War.
I don't know if you heard about Jeff Gersh.
We can't agree on everything.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't use it, but Mass Effect was great. Fuck you. Jeff Gershman from GameSpot. There's a big controversy. No one really knows what it is, but you heard of the remake of Bionic Commando, right?
Yeah, I haven't played it.
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh, I heard it was good.
No.
Oh, probably from these reviewers that don't fucking...
No, GameSpot was one of the thing is, they didn't advertise in the campaign on GameSpot. Every time you looked at a review, you saw the goddamn advertising for Bionic Commando. And they gave it like a 5.8 or something like that.
GameSpot did?
GameSpot gave it like a 5.8 because it was a terrible game. And Jeff Gersham's the one that I'm butchering his last name, but Jeff
It's all good.
That's right.
gave it a really low score, like a 6 maybe. So not shortly after, you got fired from GameSpot, and people were saying it's because the company that paid GameSpot all this money for the advertising complained about GameSpot. So that's corruption.
Yeah, that's like that's like senators getting paid off, and then when they don't, it's exactly.
Well,
the same
it's
shit.
the same thing to a different degree. It's entertainment.
Well, yeah, okay.
But it's still dishonest and misinformation. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I can't speak. I'm high, as we know. Misinformation to the audience, which is unfair.
It's not fair.
And it's biased, and it's even if it's journalism, it's gaming journalism, but it's journalism nonetheless.
Yeah.
So this is Gamergate, but
Right.
you would never know that if you watch the news or you find any coverage about it because like as we said, the internet blew up right at the Zoe Quinn girl.
It exploded.
What do you think is going to happen in addition to the ethics in gaming journalism when you've got a chick who just bangs 5 dudes to get reviews? A lot of sexist, hateful, rape threat, death threat stuff is going to come up because it's the internet and it's gamers and that's just a part of the thing.
We're bad people.
So now,
Right?
yes, Zoe, what they want to make out to seem like gamers are bad people. All agree with this.
Yeah.
So now you've got people like Zoe Quinn and Brianna Wu, who is batshit insane.
Brianna Wu.
Brianna Wu is a game developer like Zoe Quinn who makes the worst games. She makes a Mass Effect aesthetically derived game. You'll see it if you ever look it up. It looks like Mass Effect.
What's it called?
I don't even remember because I don't want to. I have that shit in my head. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And she's crazy. And she's using this whole Gamergate thing as a way to get money.
I've heard of that.
As a way to get money from donators. I'm getting death threats. I had to move. Donate to my Patreon. And she's made hundreds of thousands or 10 million. I don't know how many, but it's multiple thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Same thing with Anita Sarkeesian. Same thing with Randy Harper. These are all people that are making. Zoe Quinn too. Randy Harper looks like a dude.
Huh.
Brianna Wu does as well. But anyway, it's a bunch of people that are trying to make money off of like gender politics. Because now they've made the whole movement of Gamergate, which is a bunch about ethics and gaming journalism. It's all about feminism
So
now.
the whole thing is gamers are sexist.
Yeah, gamers hate women and we want to rape women and we're childish and we want to perpetuate patriarchy.
Hey,
and then
I'm not childish.
I might be a racist.
I'm not childish. I have a dictionary.
I've been known to enjoy the occasional rape.
Like, what the... Like... You can play games on like Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, and you can find girls playing that. Like,
yeah, and guys like them.
Yeah, holy shit, that's the last thing we need.
Yeah,
you're right. It is it's saying that all gamers are sexist.
All Gamergaters.
Gamergates. Well, if they say to you, go kill yourself, I would.
But that's like a troll. That's a one troll.
You can call it a troll thing.
And then you would say that the entire movement's about that. And that's what we're trying to say. No, it's not. And now it's become not even about ethics in journalism. Now it's become about ethics within social justice because you've got these feminists who we're supposed to respect, right? I mean, feminism's a good thing.
Yeah.
Equality. I'm totally pro the idea of feminism.
The idea.
The problem is you've got these kids that get indoctrinated in college and they realize that they're the victim and that they can hold this leverage point of power over everybody and they become religious about it. And that's what this is about. It's about these indoctrinated and extremists who want to say everything is about rape. And it's not all about rape. It's about stop paying for views and then blaming that on rape because one dude said rape.
Comedy and feminism and just feminism and light and entertainment in general have a very, very iffy relationship. Like Louis said, like feminists and comics are enemies, and there always will be enemies. Now, maybe not to that extent, but I do see what he's getting at. That we comedies, we always make jokes about women. Women don't like that. Some of them also have sense of humor, some of them don't. Some comics go too far, some of them don't. Some of us don't go that far. So there's always this line that's been drawn.
And
for example,
the thing is, that line that you can't cross with a joke before it gets into offensive? Like there's that line you walk.
Right.
Well, with the feminists, no, I'm not saying, I'm generalizing here. I'm sure there are some feminists that don't give a shit. But with like, the idea of like the typical, stereotypical feminist. You would tell a woman joke, and then they would take that as contributing to rape. Because they say like, oh, well, when he tells that joke and people laugh at it, it demeans women, and then people think less of women because of the joke, and then they're more likely in aggregate to go out and rape people, which is bullshit.
That's stupid logic.
It's a joke, and they don't think, oh, women are stupid. They're like, LOL, this guy thinks that women are stupid.
Yeah.
It's funny, and maybe there's some truth to it as well, and we can relate to it, and that's funny. You know, I'm not saying that women are stupid. I'm saying about the interactions.
And
of
usually when we make a women joke, they're usually right, in my opinion. Sometimes they'll be wrong. No, not like they'll be making a joke about how they were wrong or how we're always wrong and women are always right. Something along the lines of that. Sometimes we'll just say we're right, and that will be the joke.
Yeah. Humans are
and we won't be like, oh, Joe, take the floor.
Thank you, buddy. It's not just the Gamergate or the comedy. Like, it's been happening in like actual news. You ever heard about that 76 cents less than?
Oh God!
Oh shit, Joe! You just started. We just talked about this last night a little bit. You're just opening it up again.
Okay, continue what you're about to say. I'll respond.
Like, no, I think it's bullshit. But the 76 cents less than men. I don't know much about it, but I come from a very conservative family.
What?
So what do you think? What do you think?
So I think
that's true.
I have no idea.
Okay. Women earn about 77% to every dollar of what a man earns. Sorry. Women earn that, which means that they're working the amount of paid hours to make that.
Yeah.
So if you have like person A and person B, and person A goes and does a science job, and person B becomes a florist or whatever.
Right.
So I feel like that wasn't funny. Why'd you laugh at that?
No, because it's stereotypical.
Oh, all right, yeah. I wasn't even thinking that. That was a completely genderless assumption. I just like flowers. So one person goes into science.
Guys, you like flowers.
One person becomes a florist. They're going to get paid different amounts of money. One person becomes a scientist, and one person becomes a part-time scientist or a scientist assistant, and they're going to make less money. And women, or feminists, extreme feminists, would argue the reason that women go into these different fields is because of glass ceilings and social pressures, which may be part of it, but I think a huge part of it is just biology and people making choices about what they want to do with their lives.
If a woman becomes a scientist, does she get paid as much as?
Yeah, if you've got a woman who's the head of science department at this university, and then a man replaces her, unless they shift the pay scales because of inflation or whatever, they made a law in 1963.
They've been making laws nonstop. The Lead Belly Act was one of the first laws that Obama put in, saying that women can now sue the business owners that pay them less than they do the same person doing the same job, a guy.
Well, that's good.
So yeah, that's a good.
That makes sense. Like, I agree with the law.
Making it easier, at least.
Because you shouldn't discriminate based on gender.
Yeah.
Why would you? That's horrible. That's racism, but with sex. That's not even, because sexism.
You might even call it sexism.
That's the thing. No, it's not. Sexism, I've learned, is not that. That's that's
a good word.
Bigotry. I don't know what the word is.
Misogynistic.
Chauvinism. That's what it is. Chauvinism, I think.
I don't know.
Sexism, I've learned, is just accepting of normal gender roles. So if you think I think a woman should stay home and raise a kid, you're technically being a sexist, even if you don't hate women. That's what I've learned. The definitions of the word.
Oh, all right. That makes sense.
But what were we just talking about? The Lead Belly law?
The Lead Belly Act that says that women can sue the people, their bosses, because if they're being paid less than the guy who's doing the same exact job.
Well, then they would be violating the law, and that should be okay. They're violating federal law. 1963, you can't pay someone less based on gender. And you can't.
It's true.
It's been 50 years since they did this shit, and then they're saying they're getting paid less. It's because women work more teacher jobs, they work more social work jobs. They don't make less, they earn less on average. You're going to have black people earning less amounts than white people, and Hispanics earning less amounts than Asians, because we're different people with different factors. Now, granted, with black people, they might be earning less on aggregate because of social injustice on a much more ingrained scale.
I think it's a bigger scale. Yeah. Like, there is no, white privilege. Oh, God, I can't speak goddamn English.
Well, yeah,
there is.
Privilege too, and there's female.
I don't know.
There is. There's female privilege.
What's the black privilege?
Okay,
that you can say the N-word and that's it?
No, the black privilege. How about you walk in a room and people are going to assume you have a big dick? That's a social.
That's a win for them.
It's not as good.
It's not their fault. They don't. It's not like they like. I'm talking about like the ghettos where black people are generally there. There is no like. There's no like white people with we all have small penises. It's not white. There's no group of white people living in a small, nice neighborhood. Man, penis size, we're just small.
I'd like to backtrack a minute and say that was a terrible example of a black privilege. I can't speak now.
I can't speak. None of us can speak.
I'll give one example that illustrates it better. saying woman privilege, right? You say that and a woman would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or a feminist, I'm sorry, a hardcore feminist would be like, what are you talking about? Well, woman's privilege, for example, if you go to court for the same crime as a man, you will get less time and less of a punishment. It's an example of women's privilege. Having the door held open for you is technically could be considered women's privilege. It's just things, how you benefit based on your gender. And everyone has that. And
Can you give me a black privilege?
I'm trying to think, man.
All right, how about, really, what do they have?
All right.
What do they have?
Here it is. All right, here's a privilege. You have easier access to marijuana. That's a fucking privilege.
I don't know. But where I live, the heroin is there.
I'm not saying if black people have the privilege, it outweighs the detriment of being killed by cops or anything. They clearly
the
have
privilege is that they
lot
get drunk easier.
I was just,
that's supposed to be a win
I
for you.
Have said black.
Okay.
But human beings in general have privileges based on various things. So when you say white male privilege, it's bullshit. We all have privilege.
Like, for example, I have a sped privilege. I got into I used to be in an alternative program, and we had field trips every Friday.
Yeah, it's a magical
sped
time.
privilege.
What's sped? Oh, special ed?
Yeah, special ed.
needs.
So I had a special needs privilege. I
Mind if I ask?
Kill the audience.
Do you mind if I ask? Do you have ADD or?
Yeah, I have ADD. Oh my God, super ADD.
I wonder if I have that. I don't think I do, but
No one caught it? You don't think anyone caught it?
I'm on like super Ritalin. It's not Ritalin. It's like super Ritalin.
He's
Like,
hardcore stuff. You should talk to his dealer.
it's actually my pharmacist.
You'd like Molly. You would. It's an amphetamine.
Yeah.
So,
Also my favorite drug ever made.
so you do weed a lot, I heard. I know you debate. Are you off it or are you on it still?
Oh, I'm on it.
You're on it
I'm
hard?
trying to quit, but it's just... I've learned that, as I've said on Facebook, I've learned the definition of insanity is to repeat the same thing over and over while expecting a different result. And
when did you start?
Colorado.
smoking weed?
Yeah.
I want to move to Colorado because it's got a good comedy
It's the
scene.
dream.
That's my
that
dream.
and the weed.
The weed is huge.
The comedy scene is great.
I was also thinking Portland for the same reason. That's got a good scene.
Does it? Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, Portland's the one with the thing we were just talking about. The
Improv?
improv, right?
Improv is more Chicago, but they do have it in
Like
Portland.
improv, like comedy, or improv?
Improv comedy.
Oh, okay. Are you into that?
No.
I want to do that for the skills because it's good for your comedy.
Yeah, I heard it's really good.
But I don't want to do it because I don't like that. But
I just really hard.
I actually
Yeah.
find Whose Line Is It Anyway hysterical.
I haven't watched it that much.
It's
but
funny. Ryan Stiles is the funniest guy
Is he
there.
the skinny guy?
Yeah, he's the skinny, tall goofball.
From Drew Carey Show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was in that. And it's quite funny. I liked it. I'm agree with you. I'm not a huge improv fan. I heard there's like long form and short form. Short form is what, Whose Line Is It Anyway does. And I find that funny. They do
Long form like a story?
they'll take a word and they'll just roll off it and they'll make a whole goddamn
gotta be good.
book about it. Yeah, it's gotta be skills. I wanted to do
Dom
it.
Irrera, you know him?
Who?
Dom Irrera?
I think I might.
He's awesome. He's hilarious. He's old school. But he started off as a play actor, like children's theater and shit. And he did a lot of improv, and then he became a comic, and he's like one of the best. He's one of the. You listen to his podcast, you should really listen to Dom Irrera live at the Laugh Factory. It's just I've learned so much from that podcast.
Advertising.
Well, we're not making any money off this. We should be. So that's fair. I mean, yeah. So he did improv.
Yeah.
So
it helped him.
improv is a great way to get into show business. Some of the biggest names out there actually did a lot of improv and got into being huge time people.
Robin Williams?
Robin Williams. Well, he actually did more theatrical.
Theatrical?
Yeah, theatrical. That's the word. Performances, and then because he was in some big time show business school.
Robin Williams?
Yeah, and then he did stand up, and then he went from there. I'm talking about Stephen Colbert.
I love Steven. He's not a stand up though, right?
No, he's on Letter. He's going to be replacing Letterman.
Oh, that's
now.
right. That's so cool.
He's
Is his show gone now? That sucks.
this major bummer. What's Tina Fey?
I don't know her stuff, but I know she's funny.
How do you not? She's everywhere.
I don't
How
watch
do you not know?
SNL.
You try to avoid it a lot.
I don't watch TV. That's the thing.
That's no.
I used to watch TV. I don't watch it
More of
anymore.
a gamer.
I watch a shit ton of television. The blonde hair girl from Park and Recreate, what's its face?
Recreation. God.
Recreation. That's it.
Is she?
She's funny.
I know her. She got a blue-eyed blonde, obviously.
She's blonde. That's all I really know. There's a bunch of people out there, even people we don't even know. I mean, I bet half the people. I mean, like famous people who did. Shut up, Joe. God damn it. All right. Oh shit! Almost dropped the laptop. So, do you have any advice as a comic that you've heard that you want to share with me? I always grow, but generally people who start off like me don't have. They just take information from all of other places and share it with me. So, any good advice you heard?
Well, I can give one piece of advice that I know personally that is never give up.
Right.
And when you want to quit, that's very normal, and don't do it.
How often did you want to quit?
I want to quit every day.
Right.
Every time I wake up and I don't have a joke ready, and I know I have an open mic that night that I'm going to suck. But I don't, because I enjoy doing it, and I know that just sticking with it, you'll eventually get to a point where you don't have to worry about all the bullshit of, it's all ego and getting through it. Main piece of advice, be yourself, speak from the heart, and be more funny than preachy.
Right?
And that's the key.
Preach
Always
it.
be funny, and silliness is also very awesome. And don't think that silliness is like immature, and silliness is like how you stay rooted to the base of comedy, like a dick. You stay rooted to the base of comedy.
It's getting kind of gay, but I like it.
So just silliness and be yourself and be honest and don't be a fake and don't contrive. Don't be contrived. Well, that's the thing. Dave Attell's contrived and he's fucking hilarious. You're gonna be a little contrived, but try to just be you, basically.
Yeah, it's very good point. It's very good advice. I always think that I'm always afraid of just making a joke that I always like that I can make a joke that I don't think I've ever heard before or I will ever hear again. So it hasn't been working for me lately, so I threw out my whole set and now I'm working on a whole new one. I feel like every joke hasn't landed and I feel like I like my jokes, but I'm just...
Do you feel like it's not you anymore?
I feel like it's me. I just feel like the audience isn't sold on it, the set, and I feel like...
How many times have you done the joke?
I've done that set for like 3 months. And I think 2 of the jokes are really good. The rest, I think, need to be rewritten or get dropped out.
Have you written anything new in those 3 months?
Once in a while, I'll throw down a bit, just a short sentence. I'll text myself it. Actually, last few days while I was talking to you last night, I wrote a whole minute of cat jokes.
Nice.
Which
I have a couple of cat jokes. So
I hate my cats. Oh, I hate my cats with a passion.
He's got a deep hatred for
Really do. She is the biggest asshole on this earth. She will mess with your mind because she is bored.
Yeah, borderlines on psychotic is hatred for cats.
And people have noticed, even except him. Like my dog is insane around the cat. She always wants to bite the cat, and my cat would just stare out. She's in her cage, and she would just set out his cage, staring him down.
The dog is in the cage?
With the dog in the cage, and the dog's losing his mind, and the cat's just there like...
That's some like Viet Cong shit.
She's just messing. She'll mess with me to the point where I kind of want to kick her. Like she'll be outside and she wants to go inside, but she doesn't want to go inside. Like she's in between, and I'm like, come inside.
Okay.
God damn, I hate my cat.
Yeah. Cats can be cunts.
Yeah.
I heard cats don't give a shit about you either.
They don't eat you if you die.
They still eat you if you die.
That's what I heard.
They had a science experiment when they had cat owners call their cats,
I showed you that, right?
and I think it was on Cracked,
Yeah.
and cats would recognize their owners. They just don't give a shit that you're calling them.
They actually measured the transmitters, and they actually get a little sadder when they hear your voice.
Right? They just hate you. You're just a handful of food.
The only reason cats go around dead people is because pheromones come off dead people and they like the pheromones.
Is that true?
Yeah.
And they like the heat. When you die, you're letting out way more heat, and they're like, I like heat. So we'll attach to that. They curl up like, I'm waiting for you to die.
Just any second. Just go to
Any minute here, any minute now. God damn it. God, I hate my cat. You have a cat?
Yeah, I have.
your cat too.
My mom has a cat because I live with my mom because
Living the dream.
I want to kill myself.
Right?
Me too, bro.
But I have my own cat. His name's Django.
It's an awesome name.
I love him.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Is a cat nice?
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. He's kind of dumb, and I think that's why he's nice.
I wish my cat was stupid.
Huh?
I wish my cat was stupid.
Yeah.
And my cat's like the fluffiest ass cat, and I'm allergic to cats, and she knows that, so she'll shove her ass up in my face. She's all up in here, and it just makes me want to hit her. She's like, pet me, pet me. and then at one point I want to I leave her be, but she'll come back and want to pet, but she wants me to pet her, but she'll go right out of reach, so I have to get up to touch her, and she's like purring, so she's like, I'm expecting it. God,
what's her name?
I could Trouble.
Trouble? Oh.
And I actually have 2 cats, Smokey. But Smokey's scared of everybody, but she's nice. She'll come down. She's like, "You want to pet me? You can pet me. If you don't, I don't give a shit." I like Gray. It's Gray. It's a nice cat. I have a dog, 2 dogs. One's Pepsi. I like the product placement with my dogs. So there's that, and I have Bella, who's insane.
Dog?
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
Blue Heeler / Beagle.
Oh, I know what Beagle is.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. She's insane, but she's insane for a whole. Pepsi will walk into my house, and Bella will be outside, attaching herself to his face and biting it.
Wow. Like playing around?
No, like I want to eat your face.
Wow. Like.
Actually, I think it's playing. At some points, they don't play.
No.
Like they're she's young. She's like a year.
That's weird.
She's no longer a puppy. No. If she was, it'd be terrifying.
Yeah.
He has a
the
pit bull.
dumbest bag of shit I've ever seen, but it's a lot.
But they are, pit bulls can be dog aggressive, and I've heard Joe Rogan say once on his podcast.
They have to be trained, I think, to be angry dogs.
If I yell, my dog will grab up my pants and be like, "Shut the fuck up."
What is pit bull?
Yeah. But he won't bite me. Grab my pants. Like, if you don't stop, your pants are coming off.
Right.
What's his name?
Bubba.
Bubba? Nice.
Yeah.
He's
13 and he's got a pot belly and his stomach drags against the floor when he walks.
So yeah, we got pets. You got that one cat? No dogs?
I have a second cat named Ziva, named after the NCIS character. That was my mom.
Right.
And then she has a dog that I kind of also have. His name's Griff, which is short for Gryffindor.
Is he a Harry Potter fan?
No, that was his name. We adopted him. Yeah. He's an Australian Terrier. It's like a big Yorkie.
Yeah.
So, for the last question of this interview, any advice for life in general? I know you're the same age, but we all just regurgitate information that we get from older people. So, any advice for life in general? I get this from everybody. They all debate it.
Enjoy pleasure, as long as it's not at the expense of someone else.
Good advice.
Be yourself and accept yourself, but change the things that you want to change about yourself, and smoke weed every day.
That's some valuable lessons.
That's some good lessons. I like that.
All right. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very
Thanks
much,
for having me, guys.
This is Trevor Dion Comedy Riot podcast with Joe F.
Yeah.
And Adam Perry.
Hey.
Bye.
That was awesome, man.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's great. How'd I do, Trevor?
So now we're going to have our